Okay, welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here tonight at South County Fire to learn about the benefit charge that you'll see on the August 6th ballot. If you need to use the restroom, there are restrooms right out here in the hallway, and there are 2 emergency exits here for you. So we are going to give a short presentation and then we'll open it up to questions. If you're here in person, you can step right up to the podium and ask your question when it's your turn. And if you're online, just raise your hand and you'll be allowed to ask a question. All right, thank you for being here. We'll try to keep this to an hour or less so we don't take too much of your time. And with that, we'll welcome Fire Chief Bob Eastman.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Bob Eastman. I have the privilege to serve as the fire chief, your fire chief, and the fire chief of South County Fire. As you know, we have a proposition on the ballot to renew the benefit charge, and I guess I'd like to give you an overview of what the benefit charge is and actually what we're asking you to consider on the ballot in a couple weeks. Next slide. Who are we? Well, South County Fire, we're a regional fire authority. We protect nearly 300,000 people. We cover 57 square miles, and we serve the city of Briar, city of Linwood, city of Mill Creek, city of Malt Lake Terrace. We have a contract for service with the city of Edmonds, and then we also serve a large part of unincorporated southwest Snohomish County. And we have 15 fire stations spread out through that whole service area. What do we do and what services we provide the citizens of our service area? We do full service EMS, both EMT, which is we call basic life support, and we also provide ALS. We call that advanced life support or paramedics. We both do arrive and transport for that. We do fire suppression. Put out house fires and apartment fires. We have a very robust prevention division that kind of works both in the EMS world and the fire world to keep events from happening, keep people safe in their house, and to ensure that we can do the preventable things to keep fires from happening. And so we don't need to send the heavy resources. We also have a community resource paramedic program. We're proud of this program. We're kind of innovators in this. We've been doing it for about 10 years, and extremely proud of that program. And it's an alternate way to take care of people that transportation to the emergency room isn't actually what needs them, where it solves their problem. It's an alternative way of solving people's problems. We also are fortunate enough in South County we carry whole blood. So for traumatic injuries, we have the ability to provide blood in the field. We're extremely excited about that, and we do technical rescue, which is repelling. We do trench rescue. We do confined space. We have a marine unit. It's in the Port of Edmonds. We have the ability to do firefighting from that, EMS from the boat. We have hazardous material. We have a technical rescue, technical hazmat unit. Also, we do ACT first aid and CPR, which is a way to augment our response. We have a program. It's about 45 minutes. It teaches citizens to do CPR, how to stop bleeding, and how to administer Narcan. Which is an antidote to opioid overdoses or the fentanyl problem that you're seeing and the epidemic we have going on in the country right now, including Snohomish County. We have fall preventions, and then there's a host of other things that we do in the RFA. How we're funded, we have three ways that the majority of the revenue to fund the RFA or South County Fire comes from. One is we have a general fire levy. We have an EMS levy. Those are property taxes. They're based on the assessed valuation of your home. And then in 2020, the voters of the RFA approved an alternate way of funding the RFA, which is a benefit charge. And that's based on the improvements to the property, the size of those improvements, and then what's done at those. For residential properties, for one, we have a commercial category, multifamily. And like I said, it's an annual fee. It's based on the size of the building, the use, and the risk. It's not a property tax. And the big thing about that is it prior to that, our fire levy was authorized at $1.50 per thousand of your assessed value. When the benefit charge was approved by the voters in 2020, we lost 50 cents of that, and our fire levy is now capped at $1. So we had to forfeit part of our ability on the general levy property tax for the privilege of doing the benefit charge. Next slide, please. We have a video that I think gives a really good overview of what the benefit charge is and how we got it. For those in City of Mill Creek, City of Briar, City of Montlake Terrace who have recently annexed in the RFA, we do know this is new. You weren't part of the original vote that brought the funding mechanism to the RFA. This is a really good overview, and I'm going to pause and let you view the video. It's only a couple minutes. With that, we'll start the video.
Hi, I'm Assistant Chief Sean Maxwell, part of the team here at South County Fire. I want to talk to you today about the benefit charge renewal on the August ballot. Your fire and emergency medical services are generally funded two ways: property taxes and a benefit charge. When our voters first approved the benefit charge back in 2020, more than 95% of homeowners paid the same or less than what they paid before. Property taxes are based only on your property's assessed value. So two homes of the exact same size can pay very different costs depending on the location. A benefit charge takes a more fair and balanced approach. You pay according to the size, risks, and hazards of buildings on your property. So industrial and commercial buildings with a higher risk pay more, while residential homeowners typically pay less. Why? Because it takes fewer firefighters and fire trucks to put out a fire in a single-family home than a larger commercial building. Your locally elected fire commissioners set the amount of the benefit charge each year. Seniors, low-income households, and people with disabilities will maintain any current exemptions they have through the county, and there's a discount for fire alarms and sprinkler systems. With a benefit charge, the maximum property tax you pay for the fire services is reduced. For the cities of Briar, Mill Creek, and Montlake Terrace, who have recently joined the Regional Fire Authority, we understand this may be a new concept for you. So we are happy to answer any questions you may have. Everyone can learn more about the benefit charge by visiting our website at www.southsnowfire.org. Thanks for watching.
I also think it's important, as you saw in the video, the response. When we have a house fire in South County Fire, we send 10 units, and with the goal of getting 22 firefighters, and often we send more. In a commercial fire, for example, rather than 10, we send 16 units with a target of getting 34 firefighters on scene. And take this opportunity to let you know, with the change of constructions and all those other pieces and how things work, we need to have more firefighters on scene to extinguish those and do the work than we did in previous years, because the change of construction. But it helps illustrate, commercial properties require more resources. It's one of the benefits, I think, of the benefit charge. Next slide. What does it cost you? When voters approved the benefit charge in 2020, more than 95% of the homeowners paid the same or less than the traditional way, or all on the general fire levy. In 2024, a homeowner of a 2,000 square foot home, regardless of how much it's worth, paid an annual benefit charge of $71.64. Next slide. What does renewing the benefit charge? What does it do? Helps us maintain response times, maintain service level, fund our firefighter training, fund our emergency response and equipment. And with that, I'll pause and take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Yes,
I have 3 questions if you'll allow me.
absolutely.
First of all, why don't you charge by the call or the number of fire engines or medical units as opposed to having a benefit charge?
One is who would we charge? And for example, if you had a fire at your house and we charge per the response per equipment, it'd be a huge dollar amount when you look at time and equipment and all that. And it would be really hard to fund the fire department on that kind of a basis because of the ability for people to pay, quite frankly. For us, the reason we use the benefit charge option or the benefit charge and assess valuation, or excuse me, the EMS levy and the general levies, those are what the law allows us to use to fund the RFA. And so that's why we do it. And to do it on a per call basis, it varies on your call. Some EMS responses I send, I mean, I have 11 on the sickest of people. You know, I can have 6 units and 11 to 15 people there doing the work. And it would be really hard to do that and put that burden on the taxpayer on the individual call versus doing it like we do from property tax and the benefit charge. The other aspect of that is we have a requirement to have a readiness aspect before we even turn a wheel. Right. So one of the challenges with having, to answer your question, is we have a cost that we have before we even run a call. Right. I have to have a certain number of stations, a certain number of firefighters on duty before I even run a call. And the number of calls we have vary, the type of calls we have vary. It would be very challenging. I don't know of anybody who does it. We don't track that kind of stuff.
Makes sense.
But there's lots of other reasons why it's really not an applicable way, in my opinion, not an applicable way to do it.
Thank you. My second question is, this fire station is really close to the Everett city limits. So I know people who live in Everett and also live in Snohomish County, South County Fire area. What is the difference between this benefit charge for South County Fire and Proposition 1 that the Everett city is putting on the ballot?
So I'll speak first to the benefit charge. So for us, the benefit charge is the renewal of the ability for us to use this as a method to fund the fire department. Right? So ours is for the RFA to continue using the benefit charge to fund the RFA. It's not, there's not a dollar amount set to it. It's for us to continue to use that to fund. So we're asking the citizens to renew our ability to use the benefit charge as a funding mechanism in the RFA and to continue what we're doing with property tax.
Okay.
In the city of Everett, they're doing a general levy lid lift. It's based on assessed valuation, and it's an increase to the city's general levy. And it's increasing the amount of taxes they're going to collect. That's the difference. We do levy lid lifts too from time to time in the RFA. We're all limited to a 1% increase based on the statute. And there are times where we haven't done it. We haven't done it since the RFA has been formed. But we will need to come out and do levy lid lifts if we need dollars that are over the 1% on that. So Everett specifically asking for a levy lid lift that has dollars and cents attached. What we're doing with the benefit charge is to renew the option for us to continue to use the benefit charge as a funding mechanism. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and the Everett Proposition 1 is titled for public safety and essential public services. But what I think I'm hearing you say is it's going to the general fund, which could cover anything.
Well, but
right?
yeah, but
Okay,
like I
I
said,
just wonder.
outside of that with the city of Everett, they, you know, their public safety runs through the general fund,
Okay,
right? Their
I
law
get it.
enforcement and fire, because they're a full service city, have those two things. So they do run through the general fund. And so, you know,
I get it. Okay.
Mhm.
Third question, and I thought about it when I walked in the door.
excuse me.
The August primary is a primary.
Mhm.
And when we're voting for somebody in the primary, it goes to the general election in November. Is this it? I mean, if we vote for your benefit charge on the August primary, does that mean that we're done? We don't vote for it again?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, so yes.
that's what I.
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank
Thank
you for
you.
the questions. Any other questions? Anybody online? Well, I guess with that, I'd like to say thank you. If you look at the screen, and I don't know if you're seeing it online, if there's any other questions you have, there's ways to contact us for us to make sure that you have the information you need as you consider the ballot measure on August 6th. With that, I say thank you very, very much and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.